Do you think you have the right to free speech? Why? Since the latest onslaught of attacks against the freedom of speech, many people have taken to quoting the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. They quote Section 19. Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes the freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. Sounds pretty good, right? This right is guaranteed, so we all feel warm and cozy and happy in our knowledge that we have this right. Except that Article 29 of that same UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights acts to place some pretty severe limits on the exercise of all the rights guaranteed in the Declaration. Article 29 comes in 3 parts. Part 1. Everyone has duties to the community, in which alone the free and full development of his personality is possible. Aside from the obvious fallacy of this statement, let us consider what it says. Each and every individual is obligated for their very soul to the community, and therefore has some pretty significant obligations to this community. But the community, in contrast, does not have, according to the UN, any obligations to the individual. Isn't it a bit strange to include such a statement in the list of individual rights and freedoms that the UN is making a universal declaration of? Putting a statement like this there seems to be completely illogical, unless it's a segue to placing some pretty severe limitations on the exercise of these rights. Let us look at Section 2. In the exercise of his rights and freedoms, everyone shall be subject only to such limitations as are determined by law. Let me read some bits again. Exercise of rights and freedoms shall be subject to limitations determined by law. In no uncertain terms, this states clearly that any legislative body has the right to pretty much nullify any and all of the rights in the whole UN Universal Declaration by simply passing a law. What is the point of the Declaration then? If you live in a country whose government respects human rights and freedoms of its own accord, then there is no need for the UN Declaration. And in countries that would deny their citizens these rights and freedoms, all that is required is that the governments just pass a law stating it. Then their citizens, while retaining the right, lose any and all ability to exercise it. This is unconscionable. So, what type of law can strip a country's citizen of their basic rights? Back to Section 2. Laws solely for the purpose of securing due recognition and respect for the rights and freedoms of others, and of meeting just requirements of morality, public order, and the general welfare in a democratic society. Did you get that? Respect for meeting the requirements of morality? You have to wish this was a joke. Legislating respect for morality? This wording would have made anything and everything the Inquisition did perfectly legal, because it's not just freedom of speech, it's all the human rights and freedoms that can thus be limited by simply passing a law. And everything becomes even more clear with Section 3 of Article 29. These rights and freedoms may in no case be exercised contrary to the purposes and principles of the United Nations. Did you catch that? The very political body which had, again, submitted to the will of lobbying from Islamic countries and stated that it is reasonable to limit any speech critical of religions in general and Islam in particular, that same political body makes it illegal to exercise any human rights or freedoms if it is not in the UN's political interest. What a universal hoax! They want to silence us, one voice at a time. Don't let them, please.